Hi, I'm Rupal Jain, GSoC18 mentor for Mentorship System, Backend, and Android. Now, this is Isabel Costa giving her final demo for the project.
Hello, I'm Isabel Costa and I'm presenting Mentorship System, the backend and the Android. So I'm from Portugal. I'm a recent graduate from Telecommunication and Informatics Engineering. I worked 2 years on Android. Um, and in terms of open source experience, before this, I didn't have any. I was curious about it. But yeah, I tried one PR last year in Oktoberfest. I did one PR for another organization and then for Sisters. So it's I was a real newbie at this. So about the team, I am the student, of course. Then the mentors Murad, Dilushi, and Rupal. Rupal was came in the third phase, but very welcome anyways. And May is the admin. So here's the summary. Basically, I had to code and follow the timeline for the project, which was changed since the beginning according to the needs of the project. I had my mentors who guided me on technical issues, doubts, following best practices, reviewing pull requests, and yeah, just providing a healthy environment for me to be in. And Yadni was, May was the bridge between the organization and the team and helped me a lot on getting feedback from potential users. I will explain briefly the project. So, okay, mentorship system. I proposed this project for this year's GSoC on Sisters. How did I? Okay, mentorship system is a system, an application for women in tech. This is the initial target and audience that I was focusing on, right? So it's an application for women in tech to mentor each other and support each other on career development topics, right? The target user is any women in tech in any stage of the career, any age, any social economic background. So I really didn't want this to be just for students, just for young people. I want to help everyone in this scope. So I was a mentor in college, and I noticed that I really like to pass on the knowledge that I learned throughout the years, the things that cost me some time to learn about the industry. And I really like to, if I see someone that doesn't know something, I just want to tell that person, look, do you know about this and this and this? This could really help you and things like that. I met a person on Slack, Women Who Code Slack, and she was switching careers, right? And she asked for advice in a general channel. And I thought, okay, this is an opportunity for me to help someone. So I just started a conversation, and I tried to give as much as advice as possible. And yes, I really like that. So for this year's GSoC, I thought, okay, I already wanted to do an app and explore a bit of Android and do an application from scratch. So I thought, let me think about my experiences. I thought about mentorship, that I like to mentor, and I would like to be mentor as well. So yes, I came up with this idea. During the application phase, I thought a lot about the possible features, the implementation. I had a huge proposal, and yes. So why is this important? This may be very helpful for women switching careers to tech, right? And not know how the industry works. This can provide a safe environment for women to mentor each other, support each other, create relationships, and help on career development topics, such as optimizing LinkedIn for recruiters, public speaking, blogging. These are all things that I'm a bit, I searched a lot about this, so I thought it would be nice for, yeah, for we women to help each other on these topics. So the features, this is a summary of the timeline that was agreed with the mentors. So for example, initially I had a whole timeline where in the first phase I wanted to do the backend, and the second and the third I wanted to do the Android application and finish it. It wasn't like that. So this is a thing that I learned, right? It takes time to build a nice product for people and the community. So the first phase was actually the development in the backend, right? I had to learn backend from scratch because I wasn't used to it. So yeah, I've built the login and register API, the user arc for API, right? Edit the profile, delete profile, view my profile, list all the users. I also created APIs, an API for admins, right? So we want to have admins in this application. So to have a better control of the users. So I created an API to assign a user as an admin. In the second phase, I created the API to revoke an admin role, the email verification on login process, right? So a user cannot log in if it doesn't have the email verified. I also created the APIs for the mentorship relation arc, right? So a mentorship relation, I didn't explain, sorry. A mentorship relation is a relation, one-on-one, one-to-one, right? One user to another user. One is the mentor and the other is the mentee. So I can send a request to another user, like, I want to be your mentor, or I want to be your mentee. And so I created these APIs to send a request, accept, reject, delete. And I also created a cron job to complete a full relation, right? Because this relation, I forgot to tell, is time constrained, right? The idea is for me to help someone during a certain period of time. So my mentee may want to just be mentored on this certain topic, optimizing the LinkedIn profile during 2 months, right? So yeah, we have a period for the mentorship relation. And the third phase, that's where I started with the Android application. I tested the backend to find bugs, to make sure it was stable. I also opened for others to test. I also started to implement the tasks feature. Tasks feature is, for example, we have me and another user have a mentorship relation, and we may want to have tasks, right, to become accomplishments. So I want my mentee to write a summary for the LinkedIn, right? And that's a task. And once the mentee completes these tasks, it becomes an achievement. Yes, and then I started the Android application after the backend was already a bit stable. And the idea was to create the user arc, the mentorship relation, and tasks arc. Tasks was a stretch, but okay, let's see how it went. Okay, before that, tech stack. On the backend, we used Python, Flask. MySQL is still to be used, but we used an abstraction, which is SQL Alchemy, that provided us flexibility on using different type of databases. We also deployed to Amazon Web Services. Regarding the mobile application, we agreed to start this application with Android and Kotlin. And in the end, we used MVVM, model view model architecture. And we also used some libraries like RxJava, Retrofit, and some Android components like ViewModel and Live Data. The repos are there, right? Sisters at Mentorship -backend and Mentorship -Android. Okay. Now about the implementation. First, let's talk about the backend. This image reflects a bit about the Swagger documentation. So all the backend API is open and can be seen in the deployed server. I will show you in a second. The accomplishments in the backend side. So we had, as I said before, registration, login API. We provided the Swagger documentation so anyone can see a nice UI on the backend and not be that scary backend that no one sees. We can test easily the backend, so a member can come and not have to run the backend to test the backend. And that's really important for us. I also made the edit profile, check my profile, yes, and all that I said before. The other accomplishments, send a mentorship relation, get all mentorship relations, email verification, all that I said before. Yeah, until the cron job was done, is done until now. Okay, so now I will show the live server, and I will register some users, log in the users, and just show how it works on the backend. Okay, sorry. Yeah. And yeah, I will try to create mentorship relations and requests between users and show you how I can reject, delete, and accept on the backend. Okay, let's start. Let's go to this link. Yay. Okay, so I already have some users, right? So just to show off how a user is registered, I will just register one user, okay? Let's call this person Julia. Julia has username. The password has to be at least 8 characters. Email. Okay, let me just get some space here on the com. Email. Let's try this temporary email because this is just for testing, and terms and conditions are checked. Okay. Okay, so user was created successfully and the confirmation email was sent. Great. Here it is. Click it and let's see, Julia. You have, okay, so it's confirmed. Okay, now that it's confirmed, let me log in this user. So it's Julia and the password 123 till 8. Let's log in the user. Try out. Let me just open here a notepad so that we can register. We can note down the JSON web tokens. So the tokens. Execute. So what we see here is that Julia is logged in now with a web token, right? A JSON web token. We will save it here and say Julia. So to log in, I will show you to use the restricted API. Sorry. Token. Okay. To use any restricted API, like checking my own profile, I have to send an authorization field with this keyword that I don't know how to pronounce. Execute. Let's see my profile. Okay, so Julie's here, email, password hash, so it's hidden. I'm not an admin. Let me say that the first user that gets into the application is automatically an admin, but after that, not so much. Okay, and we have a lot of fields here that I want to fill, right? Like the bio, location, a thing which is important here. So first of all, my ID is 4. Let us register this. So ID is 4. Yeah, and okay, for mentorship relations to work, I have to be available either to mentor or to be a mentee, right? So let's edit this on Julia. Julia, okay. Okay, I don't want to edit all the, okay, but maybe I will. Just so I can, okay, so Julia B. So the username is not needed because there's already the name also, sorry. Okay, bio, so I'm an open source enthusiast. And I want to learn more. Okay. The most important thing that I wanted to show you is the need mentoring and the available to mentor, but I wanted to fill this as well so that you can see next in the Julia's profile need lots of stuff, right? So Lisbon occupation, Android developer can be like that. Developer organization can be sisters open source. Stack username. I want fill these, but okay. The important thing, sorry, is really the need mentoring and the available to mentor. Because if I don't have these set to true, I cannot either be a mentee or a mentor. This will fail. Okay, so let's update Julia's profile. Update it. Now, just so that you trust me, right, and see that this is working. Let's see now the profile updated. So you can see here is false. Okay, execute. True. Yes, so it's true, and I have a bio and a location, or occupation and organization, just as I did before. Okay. Now I will start to create mentorship relations. So I already have a user here installed, register, which is me, Isabel Costa. So, and I know, I will show you, but I know that I already know that, okay, let me log in as Isabel. I already know that probably my ID is 1, but so that you can see that, let us check this out. Let's see all the users, all the verified users, right? Because I don't want to create a relation with someone which is not yet verified. Okay, so 1, I'm Isabel, right? And I'm verified, and here's Julia. Okay, so Isabel, my token, Isabel, and ID is 1. Okay, so let's create mentorship relations, which is why we're here. Okay, so I forgot this. So let's create as Isabel, right? What do we need to create? We need to know who is the mentor, the mentee, the end date of this relation, and some notes, right? So I want to show you how to participate in an open source community. This is my proposal for Julia, right? Because she wants to know more about open source. Now I will create a Unix timestamp because this is the way that we save dates. And because the minimum is 1 month, let's put it to October 25, right? Convert. Okay, we have here a timestamp. Oh my God, okay, sorry. Yes, okay, and the ID. So my ID, I will be the mentor, and Julia will be the mentee. Let's execute this, and we have a mentorship relation created. Now I want to create another relation, right? Because I want to do 3 things, which is reject, accept, and yeah, and delete. So this is created from Isabel to Julia. And in this way, I cannot either accept or reject because I'm sending to Julia. So only Julia can accept this relation. Now I will send another so that I can show you how to delete one. Okay, so this will be, this is deletable. I'm not sure if this exists. This is to delete. And I don't mind about the end date because I will erase this one. So execute. And we have another relation. And now to reject, yeah. So Julia is the only one that can reject. Yeah, so let's send another one to Julia. Yeah, for is the, okay, that's the same one, the same one. Okay, so now I'm a bit afraid because I think Isabel is in a relationship. So let's see if Julia can accept this. Okay, let's check token from Julia. and check the relationships she has until now. Okay, so 3 relations that I created. These are not now relations, are just requests because are neither accepted or rejected. So let's reject number 1. Let's reject number 1. So, okay. So the state currently is pending. So you can see here, it's 1. This is 1. So this will change once I reject this mentorship relation, right? Okay, let's reject it. It's 1. You cannot reject the mentorship relation you are not involved with. This is a problem. It's 4. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, I've heard a wise person telling me to continue, so I will continue. Let's see, Isabel, are you in a relationship? I'm almost sure you are in a relationship. Okay, let's get the current relation. Sorry, I wrote this again. You are not in a current relation, so this is good. Okay, I will delete one of the relations that I created. So let's see the IDs. Oh, I think I already understood what happened wrong. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the ID was 6, was not 1, because I have mentorship relations created. Okay, now I understand why this went wrong. I'm sorry. So let's reject 6, and you will see this will work. This happened because the mentorship relation 1 is not from Julia. So Julia cannot either reject, nor cancel, nor accept anything. Okay, okay, was rejected. Now we will see from Julia that this was rejected. So the state is no longer 1. Yay! It's working. Okay, so Isabel is not in a relation, right? Let's delete a mentorship relation that Isabel sent. So let's see mentorship relations from Isabel, and let's delete 1. Okay, so this is so big. 5. Let's see 5. So let's delete 5. Let's delete number 5. Okay. Number 5 will be deleted. So what will happen is this will no longer appear. Okay, so maybe this one was already rejected. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see one that is on state 1. State 1, so 7. 7 is in pending state. I cannot delete a mentorship relation which was already updated by a user, right? So that's why this went wrong. So 7, let's delete the 7. Okay, mentorship deleted. Let's see it happening. 7, where are you? So this is not ordered. Okay, so 5, 4, 2, 8, 6, 3, and 1. So there isn't a 7. So it's deleted. Yay. Okay, so now we'll accept a relation. So I sent a relation to Julia, right? So I cannot accept it. Only Julia can accept this relation. So let's check again the mentorship relation she has. Okay, so the 7 was here and it was deleted. Let's accept, I cannot accept the one I rejected, right? So I will accept this 8th relation. And let me just show you, just to prove this works, that she's not currently in a relation, right? So you're not in a current relation. So let's accept this relation. B8. Oh, okay, it was accepted. I was hoping for the worst. Execute. Yay! I'm in a relation. So happy. Okay, Isabel will teach me stuff. Um, okay, so now I showed you a bit about the arc and the things that went wrong. Well, they are demo as well, because I'm showing what happens if I'm not following the rules. Um, let's see what we can do more besides this. So I already checked my profile, list the users. Okay, I rejected, I deleted, and accepted the mentorship relation. So now let's go to the Android application. Okay, uh, first I want to show you, just to give you an idea of what how this was supposed to look like. Okay, so I did this UI design and prototype um, before implementing the actual application. So the idea is to sign up, right? So I can sign up, check, okay, I'm signed up. Now I will log in. And now the idea is to have a bottom navigation and be able to access all that I showed you on the back end, right? So I can check my own profile, I can edit, right? I can see my current relation, cancel, right? I can see the tasks. This is what it's supposed to look like, right? I can see the members list, check members profile, and send a request. Okay, I'm sending a request, has a mentor, I propose something, and I will send it. And okay, I'm on my list of requests. So I can here check a request that I sent, and I will see it like this with a nice message saying that, okay, so you sent this message, and I can see incoming requests, right? And accept or reject. So I think I showed all. This is the basic idea for the application. Now, what it's done, as I said before, not all of this was implemented, but we already have a base, and now this can be contributed by others. So let's check my profile. Okay, so here is where I sign up, right? But I want to show you inside of the app. What is there? Isabel. And now I'll put my password, which is not difficult. This is just a test. Login. Okay, so what we have until now is a members list, right? Very simple because we do not have yet the photo upload feature. Let's see Julia. So Julia I created on the back end, right? Okay, so I'm an open source enthusiast and I want to learn more. I wrote this before, right? Okay. And we can see the request. So this feature is still to be merged, but is already implemented. I can see all the requests. So I sent one to Julia, but it's not pending. Or is it? Yeah, it's here. One that I sent to Julia. So this was rejected. Yes, it was. It's true. It's true. So this is what we have from the Android application, and I hope this will be very improved and after GSoC contributed by others, right? So I showed you login screen, members list, request list. So I think, yes, I think this is the demo. Now let me show you all the other things that I've done. Let's see. So first, future development opportunities. When I thought of this application, I went full on features, right? So I thought about a lot of things. And I have a lot of ideas for the project. So for example, schedule meetings. So aside from having tasks with a mentee or a mentor, I can schedule meetings with a mentor, a mentee, even to check if I want to be in a relation with this person or not. We can have tutorial screens. So this is very simple. A Slack social media authentication, gamification for relation achievements and milestones, so that we know the achievements that we do, right? This is very important. Instant messaging. I think this project has a lot of room of improvement. Other things that could be done, for example, we thought about doing the application with Flutter, but because of time constraints, we followed a native approach with Android and Kotlin. But yeah, this is a total possibility in the future, implement with Flutter, and in this way having an Android and iOS application at the same time, have a web version of the app, integrate with the volunteer management system. So this was just an idea I had. Let's see, it's open source, we can see this. So another important part of all the work that I done uh, was, okay, so research, outreach, training, documentation. There are lots of things on open source besides coding, and I'm really glad with it, right? So I had to, that UI prototype that I showed you, I had to develop it, and it went through several iterations, right? Because I wasn't the decider, right? We wanted to know what the community felt about it. So now I will show you some things that I created, some Google Docs to help with documentation. Quality assurance. This was more for the backend, right? Because this is a new project, we want to be welcoming for other contributors, right? So I documented some test cases for the backend, so you can just test on the Swagger documentation here. Yeah, and to educate members of the community about how to log in, how to register, how to create a fake email to register and test all you want. I also created these with the admin to get some feedback from the prototypes and to answer some questions from people, for example, which are not in the community. And I also wrote a blog post about this project idea to help promote it and yeah, and pass on the idea that this application is great and has a lot of good intentions. I also hosted Ask Me Anything sessions for new contributors, for anyone that wanted to know more about the project or open source in general. And I shared a lot of updates on the mentorship system, right? So that members are aware of the state of the project. Other than that, documentation. Yeah, I try to have, documentation is a really important part of open source, right? So I try to have it as consistent as possible. Save everything that was discussed about the project. The UI screens, the initial Google Docs that I prepared during the community bonding period about the backend and the app features. I took extensive notes on the meeting minutes. So each week I had meetings with my team, and we would discuss a lot of things related to the project. Try to keep the GitHub wiki well documented. The post also counts has documentation. And yes, I try to be as consistent as possible and turning this project welcoming to new contributors or newbies on open source or not, or can be someone experienced on open source that wants to help, of course. Okay, I want to give just an idea of, so this project is not done and it will continue to evolve, right? And I just want to highlight for the open source community that anyone can help in this, and not just coding tasks, right? So you can test the backend, and I already had a fellow GSoC student and newcomers testing the backend, reporting bugs, really critical bugs. I also give feedback about the project, right? So we discuss a lot on Slack. You can just chime in and say, tell us what you think about a certain feature of a UI screen. If you like design, you can suggest improvements, of course. You can help others understand the project. You can help with documentation and, of course, solving available issues. This is more related with coding. Okay, so final thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I will try to summarize. So I had a lot of challenges. I never developed a backend from zero, right? We agreed in the beginning to do the backend with Python and Flask framework. and I didn't know anything about it. So yeah, I had to leave my comfort zone of just dealing with Android and starting to develop backend. And I really liked it because it was a need for the project, right? So yeah, we did what we had to do. So I learned a new framework. I also, before starting the application, I spent a lot of time looking into clean architecture. But then I had to make the decision of, okay, this may be a bit complex for this application in the beginning. So let's go for a simpler approach. MVVM, let's try it. I also started GSoC while finishing the thesis, so it was a chaos in the beginning. Okay, just kidding, not completely chaos, right? Uh, yeah, another challenge, welcoming new contributors, right? So because this project is new, the only people that know about this in the beginning is me and my team and the admin and my GSoC students, my fellow GSoC students. So yeah, I wanted to engage with the community and show, look, there's a new project and you can help in many ways. Even if it's not stable now, you can suggest improvements and help thinking about the system design of it. Yeah, so I try to engage with other open source contributors. Other challenges, since this was done during, on a remote working context, I had to adjust to my mentor's time zone, right, and try to optimize the time that my mentors had, because I am aware that they had full-time commitments. So to best take advantage of the time, I had to make some adjustments and think critically of, okay, so I will do this feature now, and tomorrow morning my mentors will see it. So things like that. It was fun. The user interface design, it's not easy. It's not easy to have a design eye. I like to do it, but there's a lot of effort that goes into it. So it was a challenge. None of the things are bad. I learned a lot from this, but they were challenge. Yeah, and all the deadlines that we had have these combined with the actual coding work, the weekly meetings, scrums, and blog posts that we had to post every week. So there was a lot of work management and time management. Takeaways. So before this, I was very, very new to open source. I was curious, but I never stepped into open source, and mainly an open source community. And I really liked it. I think I now can consider myself as an open source enthusiast, because I really like being in a community and be able to express myself besides coding, right? So trying to help the community as a whole, engaging with newcomers that may feel like I felt in the beginning, a bit scared or intimidated with open source. So I really like to engage with the community about this. Yeah, another thing. So the Android application is not complete, right? At least the thing that I thought in the beginning when I thought about the proposal and all the possible features. But yeah, but I came to terms with building a project from scratch takes time, okay? So even if this is not complete during GSoC, the Android application, I worked a lot on the backend, and to have a good Android application and be able to develop without a lot of problems on the backend has to be stable. So I worked a lot on the backend, and after GSoC, this will be open for more open and for other contributors to help out, other Android developers, that I'm sure there will be people interested. And yes, in getting out of my comfort zone in learning new technologies. When I started learning Flask for backend, it was intimidating. It was intimidating, but it's done. It's done. And now I learned a lot. Getting out of the comfort zone let us learn a lot about ourselves and keep challenging ourselves. So this was great. Okay, overall experience. Yeah, I really liked it. I don't know how to tell in another way. I really liked it. I had a great team. Murad had to take me on the 101s. Dilushi had to teach me how to squash commits. There were a lot of things intimidating here. And I had a really supportive team. I think that this is one of the more important things, right? Having a team that you can count on, people that don't pressure you and are comprehensive about your level of experience. Yeah, I got to work in a project that I was passionate about, right? Because I thought of my experiences and then, okay, mentorship application. Let's think, what can we do with this? And then I just went crazy with the possible features. Yeah, I met incredible students, mentors, members, not just on my team. Uh, yeah, Sammy, Anami, Karim, Jim, Bani, a lot of people that I got to meet and I really liked, and from different cultures. This makes me grow as a person, and I really like that. I had a lot of flexibility with learning new things. Even though the mobile application is not completed, I got to learn RX Java, and I took time with it, and lots of things. Doing a cron job to complete a mentorship relation, I never done such thing. And yes, I really liked participating in the community, and it was very welcoming. And I don't know how to express more. You can ask me later, and I will have more to say. And yes, this is the end. So I'm excited for what it comes next. Yeah, the end.
Thank you, Isabel. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up?
Whew,
I do have.
Go ahead,
great.
Dil.
Yeah. So this is a brand project. So you must have done a lot of research on the available applications,
Ah, yes,
and I
yes.
think it's better how you came up with this project and how it's different from the other existing applications, so that others will know why you started a brand new project in the
Yes.
organization.
Yes, great question. So yes, when I started, I didn't thought about other applications. I started to be consumed about, oh my God, I'm liking this so much, doing thinking about the application. And then on a community session of the community, I presented the idea, and some members alerted me for, okay, so there's an application sort of like that, and kind of do this. And then I had to research. Yeah, I did the research after I should done earlier. And what I saw was that either these applications are paid or they are just for students. So it's limited on age, kind of, right? Because it's more targeted for students. Um, were paid, targeted for students, and there is something else that I don't remember now. But yeah, what I wanted with this application is to be a free option, open source, that anyone could contribute to, be developed with the community as a whole. Yeah, and create bonding relationships, and make women more comfortable with career development topics like public speaking, blogging. The other thing is, okay, there are apps also about mentorship, but more related with technical aspects, right? So teaching a programming skill. And yes, I thought there was a need for also focusing on this, air quotes, soft skills, right? Public speaking, blogging, online presence, LinkedIn, Twitter, and these sorts of things. And yes, this can, yeah, this is the answer. Are you?
Thank you so much, Isabel.
Yes.
Does anybody else have any other questions before we wrap up?
Thank you for listening.
Thank you all for watching. Bye.